because you've seen that in the past decade, there have been lots of development. There came the advent of the internet, whereby everything is now much easier. You can research easily. All you have to do is put in your search words on the search engine and bring back the results for you. So, and this came with the fourth industrial revolution, whereby things are becoming faster, things are becoming smarter. There's no longer need for some manual labor. In fact, in some workplaces, they are letting go some workers because they are no longer relevant at the workplace. This is because there are now faster and more efficient systems that produce and give much more effective results. Now looking at it now, you can see that there are examples of technologies that have made this impact. We can see artificial intelligence, we can see robotics, we can see faster cars, faster things. There are lots and lots of technologies coming out, making sure you get more results. In fact, one of them is what we call the blockchain technology. It's the technology that will change the world as we see it. It will give you much more effective results. It will solve every loophole in every system. To tell you how powerful this blockchain technology is, it can impact the health system, the voting system, governance, supply chain, every system as you know it. So simply put, blockchain technology is like a database or a ledger. You know what a ledger is? A ledger is like a book, a big book, where you put in transactions. Accountants will know this better. Every cash in, debit and credit, the way you put in if the money comes in, you impute it. Money goes out, you impute it. You're able to calculate, make sure that both sides of your ledger is corresponding. Now on the blockchain, it's like a database too, whereby transactions are recorded on a ledger. And when it gets recorded on a ledger, everybody can see it. Everybody can see the transaction, and nobody can manipulate it. This ledger stores records of value and transactions across multiple supercomputers. Now, these computers are interconnected with each other. And the more, if take for example now, I request for money on the blockchain technology. When I request for money on the blockchain technology, a block is formed. Like a block, BLOCK, is formed. And when it's formed, and I make another transaction, a chain is formed between that first block and the next block. That is why it's called a blockchain. So as transactions are coming, the blocks are attached to each other through a chain, forming a chain. And these chains are irreversible. That is why you cannot hack the blockchain. Now, a lot of people have challenge understanding what this blockchain is all about. Just look back to a few years ago, as of 1999, when there was no cell phones. In Nigeria, cell phone was very alien in Nigeria. But there came in 3310, there came in advanced versions, more and more better versions are coming out. The 3310 has some kind of games you play on it. But as time goes on, they produce better phones, better games, better things inside, more functions. Phones were no longer for just making and answering calls. It started serving much more purpose. That was why they started calling it a smartphone, because it can now do much more things than answering and making calls. So that is how blockchain is too. Blockchain is a technology that will make even the internet more secure. Because One of the things that internet is suffering today is insecurity. Data is not secured. Data is not secured. So blockchain technology will provide a system, a platform whereby your information or whatever you do is secured, because anything that is done on the blockchain cannot be reversed by anybody. Everybody can see it happening, but it's irreversible. That is a feature we called, sorry for that blunder, we call immutability. That is the inability to change what is happening on the blockchain. So, sorry, I need to attend to. I will make the recording available after the class, so you don't need to be concerned. So, moving on. What's the next thing? The blockchain. How does it work? I just explained. The first person, if Mr. A wants to send money to Mr. B, when he does this transaction is represented as a block. That when he sends the money, a block is formed. And when this block is formed, everybody on the blockchain network will see the transaction. Now, each of them, the network will now approve the transaction, verify it. Oh, yes, Mr. A is sending 1,000 Bitcoin to Mr. B. And exactly, Mr. A has 1,000 Bitcoin in his wallet. So he's legitimately sending this money to Mr. B. So we approve it. If the amount that Mr. A wants to send to Mr. B is not exactly the amount, it's more than what is available in Mr. A's wallet, the network will not verify that transaction. Therefore, it will not be executed. But if it is successful, a block is formed, and as the chain will attach it to the rest of the block, and it just keeps on building like that. This is how the blockchain works on the blockchain technology. So now let's look at blockchain technology. As it's written here, it's a decentralized ledger of all transactions across a peer-to-peer network. Now, peer-to-peer in the sense that we don't need a third party to regulate what we are doing. The network automatically regulates these transactions. Normally, if you're going to have any transactions, sometimes you have to call a third party to witness the transaction, or you have to maybe if it's a bank transaction, you have to go to the bank. The bank stands as a middleman between you and the person you're sending money to. But with this technology, you don't need the bank, because this technology has the ability to authorize your transaction between you and the person without any third party. So you can easily use this technology to transfer money, both in the health system, supply chain. Supply chain has to do with moving products from production to the consumer. That's the supply chain, from point of production down to the all the channels it has to go through to get to the consumer. So now, for example, now in supply chain now, when you make something like say for example now, what they produce. Okay, let's use drugs for example. At the production, now it's possible that you make 100 tablets, 100 carts of paracetamol at the point of production, and by the time it gets to the consumer, it might short by 2 carts, and unable to track where the two cards got missing. But with the blockchain technology now, you don't even need, it's just like an eye over your supply chain, ensuring that the 100 cards of paracetamol gets to the consumer at exactly that same amount. So even if anything happens, you can easily track where the error is from on the blockchain technology. Now, this image here is just to explain what I've talked earlier about, when someone requests for a transaction, the way you go to a bank and you say, you want to send money to somebody in Lagos, and the bank will just say, okay, stamp it for you, calculate and do, and the money goes. This time around, you don't need the bank. The network automatically validates your transaction and say, oh yes, so your transaction is valid, or yeah, a block is formed there. Even if they come back 100 years to come, that block will still be traceable to that point, and it cannot be reversed or changed. Now, if the request is invalid, this chain will not form. The transaction will not be complete. That is how exact this technology is. So now, this is the technology part. Most people are interested in blockchain technology because of the money. Of course, I understand that a lot. As much as the technology is going to change the way we handle things, the way we do things, and make it better. A place in Nigeria whereby there's still issues of transparent voting, you would need this technology to make the voting irreversible, so that whatever amount of votes that was casted will be the result that will come out at the end of the day. In health, to serve the purpose of health systems have an issue of storing data storage. It will serve as cloud storage for the health system to produce, to make sure you can track, to make it easy to move patients from a place to another, or to attend to patients without the issue of data and the history of patients, history of the patient's illness or anything. So now that's the money part. Cryptocurrency is a form of currency that uses blockchain technology. It is built by what we call cryptography. Like its own language is cryptography, but this cryptocurrency functions on the blockchain technology. So how did cryptocurrency come about? For people that think that Bitcoin is an example. Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency. So most people are very familiar with the word Bitcoin, but they're not familiar with the word cryptocurrency or blockchain or the rest of other currencies. There are more than 2,000 cryptocurrencies as of today, and more are still coming out. But out of all these, Bitcoin is the first, and Bitcoin has more lasting potential than most of them. So how did we get to cryptocurrency? If you look at this image now, we have the evolution of money. Way back in those days, the time of our forefathers, we have the barter system, whereby I have beans, you have rice, I want to eat rice, so we exchange, I give you my beans to get your rice. But over time, these products are perishable. These products are perishable, so you can't even store them. A better means of exchange came out. Remember, during the time of barter system, there was no third party. It was you. It was peer-to-peer. You carry what you have and you exchange what you don't have. Now, but it was perishable and you can't store them. That came in gold. Gold was a means of exchange. Okay, before gold, there was cowries and other means of exchanges in some places. They will not get to gold. The main issue with gold is that gold is too heavy to transport. You have to carry gold from one point A to point B, and it was burdensome. So you have to look for a way, and it wasn't very divisible. You have to look for a way to create a means of exchange. What can we use as a legal tender for exchange? That came in metal coins. That came in metal coins. And for metal coins, we had our paper currency. The first paper currency was, I think, was found in Asia. Each country that had its own kind of currency. Like Nigeria, it's naira, US is dollars, in UK is pounds, and all that. So each country, that came a way to regulate this, to regulate the distribution of this legal tender. They came a way to regulate this distribution of this legal tender, which is where with the central bank that came into play. Because if you don't do it that way, there will be people are going to be creating their own money, and there will be fake currency everywhere. So that came in the issue of third parties, like banks, to stand between you and the money you want to send. From paper currency, to make it easy, now it became harder to transport even money itself. So how do you now carry money? There came in the place of plastic cards. That's your ATM card that you know. The ATM cards now made it much easier. You don't have to travel with large sums of money in your purse. You now use your ATM cards to anywhere you go to withdraw money at ease. Plastic cards or your ATM cards that came in your, what do we call it? Your PayPal, your Pioneer, Western Union, and all that, because it's become, we start looking for a way to make sure that your money gets your family and friends and family across the globe. So that came in Western Union and Pioneer and all that. Now, after electronic money, we now have cryptocurrency, digital money, a money that you don't have to see, a kind of money that you don't have to feel or touch to use. And it still gives you value. You can still use it to buy and sell. You can still use it to do everything that you want to do. So this is the evolution of money. So Bitcoin and the rest are not out of the news. Money has evolved to Bitcoin. So moving on, next one we have here is, so where do you start? A lot of people wonder how to start. How do you start your journey of your crypto journey? Simple. Create a Luno wallet. Luno wallet has made it so easy, especially for Nigerians. The other option for other countries, is Coinbase. But for Nigeria, we have Luno wallet. You can easily go to your Play Store and you install your Luno wallet. I will send a link that you can use to install your Luno wallet. To install your Luno wallet. And I'll show you how to make sure your wallet is safe from hack and all that. On your Luno, you can easily buy and sell your Bitcoin. You People, you don't have to, a lot of people have had scam experiences with Bitcoin, but you don't have to keep on having that same scam experience with Bitcoin. All you have to do is install Luno. On Luno, you can buy a part of Bitcoin with as little as 300 naira. That's telling you how easy it is for you to start accumulating your Bitcoin. At least Bitcoin is well known. You can easily have Bitcoin. You fund your Luno wallet from your bank account, and you use it to buy Bitcoin on Luno wallet. And when you watch the market and you see that the value of Bitcoin has gone up, you can easily sell your Bitcoin and get your Jara on top. This is the simplest way to monetize Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is bound to give you value. In fact, it is predicted that Bitcoin will have much more value by May this year. So if you want to accumulate Bitcoin, now is the best time to start accumulating, because very soon you won't have Bitcoin at the same price. At this price now, it is even still cheap, because very soon one of it is about $10,000, and that will be very expensive to have. But imagine if you buy it now at this price and keep it, and it gets $10,000. You have Jara. You have, like, you're making up over 100%, even more, even about 200% on top of what you used to start. So you create a Luno wallet. Now, this is one of the challenges that people have with Bitcoin and trading and the rest of it. They don't know how to manage risk. In fact, people don't get educated about these things. They don't get educated before venturing into this thing. I want to tell you, before you trade, before you do anything, make sure you learn how to trade on that platform from somebody who is already experienced in it. Pay and learn. Because it's doing much good. Before you come back and you say you lost your money, your trading equity, because you didn't know how to do the right thing. Now, risk management of trading. There are things you need to observe so you don't lose your money, even on Luno. Let's take the first point here, for example. Activate 2FA, two-factor authentication. How many of you have they hacked their Facebook? If they hacked your Facebook, you will see that they were able to hack your Facebook because you did not put what we call a second layer of protection, which is 2FA, two-factor authentication. How do you activate this 2FA on your account? Now, every trading account have settings. If you go to settings, you see security. When you go to security, you will see where you are required to activate the 2FA. When you click it, most of them give you two options: SMS and Google authentication. Never go for SMS, because network can disappoint you and you will not get the codes. Normally, 2FA gives you some numbers that you use one time, a number you can use only once, and it becomes invalid. Which means you get it from a device that only you have access to, so nobody can hack your account and have access to your phone. So SMS authentication is not advisable because of network breach. Just imagine you're having network issues in your area and you're trying to log into your trading account to check how your trade is doing, but you're not waiting for the message to come in. It's refusing to come in because of what? Network bad. That is why you go for the other option that we call Google Authenticator. It's available on your Play Store. You install it from your Play Store and it generates 6 codes, numbers for you every 30 seconds. Like, you can easily use. You can easily use to protect your account. Now, if you're going to trade, apart from keeping your money in your Luno, you can start trading on platforms like Binance, BITTREX, KUCOIN, and the rest of them. Always make sure make sure you use substantial amounts to trade. Don't use anything less than $50 to trade. If not, when people are saying that they're seeing they're making profit, though, you don't see profit, because the money you cannot compare someone that is using 100,000 naira to trade don't use 10,000 naira today. If you use 10K to trade, if an enter 10 trade with someone that entered with 100,000 naira, if both of you are making 10%, your 10% is different from 10% of the 100,000 naira person. Your 10%, a 10% of 100,000 is 10,000 naira. But the 10% of 10,000 naira is 1,000 naira, which might not reflect on your account. So use substantial amount, and to enter one trade, use part of your portfolio. Don't use everything to enter the trade. Use substantial amount, but then at the same time, use part of the money to enter per trade. So that if you're not benefiting from this one trade, you're benefiting from another trade. Now there's what we call your stop limit. Set stop limit. Stop limit is available on every trading platform. But most people just enter trade and they never put stop limit. What does stop limit do for you? Stop limit makes sure that if you're expecting the price of a trade, the value of a trade to go up, maybe you expect that Bitcoin will rise by 50%. But at the end of the day, it did not happen that way. Instead, the price went down. Stop limit will help you to reduce the percentage of loss you encounter. Now, if people say that they lost their money to trade, it's either they did not put stop limit, or they do what we call the next point here, FOMO, fear of missing out. You hear, this one is trading, no, you rush, I gotta enter. This one is trading, you rush, I gotta enter. Without checking, is this trade worth my energy? Is it worth my stress? Is it worth my stress? So, next thing is always trade with strategy, not emotion. This is where I come in, where I can teach you how to understand how to, enter your trades. Don't enter, don't feel, sometimes a signal is given to you in the morning, a signal to trade, maybe you enter at so price and you exit the market at so price. You will not see the signal by what do you call it, in the afternoon. You now rush again time change. By that time, the signal have done giving the profit, and then it's going back, it's retracing. And when you enter there now, you now lose your money. You now say, because you don't want to miss out. Trade with strategy. If you're given a signal in the morning and you miss that signal in the morning, don't enter that trade. If not, don't blame anybody if you lose your money. Now, never trade with luck. You may get wrecked. It is better for you to miss out on 99% gain than to have 99% loss. Better for you to have 1% gain than to lose 99% of the money used to enter. So don't use luck. Always enter with the correct signal so that you can make profit. A little profit accumulated over time is better than looking for one big profit and you lose all your money. So now, how do you make money from cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency, just remember, cryptocurrency is just one part of blockchain technology. We'll get to other parts of it. It's the money part. So you make money by what we call fiat trading. That is trading, Bitcoin fiat trading, trading your cryptocurrency like Bitcoin to get money. Fiat is your cash, your naira, or your dollar. You trade your Bitcoin to get fiat. And that one is masternode and staking. Masternode and staking is, there are some cryptocurrencies that you don't even need to stress yourself to trade. All you need to do is hold it. Just hold it in your wallet. In your wallet, either the wallet of the coin, or you can hold it on an exchange. The masternode now, you're supplying the network, and you are gaining something per time you're holding the coin. Taking, you say, oh, I'm giving this percentage, like maybe like you say you want to give 100 Ethereum, you're holding, it's not this is not a master coin though. Take for example that you are doing TRX or new. If you're taking new, for example, you get gas. So you're holding a particular number of new. At the end of the month, based on the quantity of new you're holding, you get another cryptocurrency that you can easily sell. That one you're getting it for free. Easily sell and get money. And now it's Bitcoin mining. So this one, it really paid out well when Bitcoin was really came out newly. It paid out well. But now, mining pays off people that have the big and expensive machines and for mining. Then see this one, initial coin offering. Initial coin offerings is a way for companies to raise money for their tokens or coins. Take for example now, a company wants to produce a particular cryptocurrency that can offer value to people. They don't have the funds, the complete funds to start. So they offer it to you at a small amount. You buy a large quantity of it, they will use your money to start the project. And when they launch it, all the people that offered money will make gains from because if they offer their coin to you at $1, when they launch the coin, it's going to give make like $9. So imagine if you use plenty money to offer, and the coin comes out and the price is 900% more than what you used to buy. You're on profit. So next one is affiliate and network marketing. Affiliates. Most exchanges now have affiliate system whereby the more people use your link, but you get the percentage of their trades and all that. Like Binance offers 40%. Binance offer 40% of the trade of the affiliate. So next one is accepting Bitcoin and crypto as payment for your services and products. These days, of course, one of my friends, he sells all manner of health products, like he's running unit pills now. He sells unit pills, and he has clients that pay him in Bitcoin. And other things too. People request for the services and they pay him Bitcoin. Even I was selling one of my books. I wrote about 2 books on this. I have a book on blockchain as an introduction. If you want to read it and understand it better, I have a book on blockchain. Then I have another book on trading on BITTREX. I'll explain that later. I had some clients that had to pay me in Bitcoin because they are not Nigerian. He was trying to pay from Ghana and start looking for a way to pay me in my currency would be hard. So he just easily sent Bitcoin from his wallet to my wallet. And I accepted it as payment. So that's another way of monetizing what you do. You accept Bitcoin and crypto as payment for your services and products. Another one is airdrops. Airdrops is free money in crypto. Airdrops is free money in crypto. Whereby companies, just like the way that companies offer their products for at a lower price, this time around they're offering their products, their coins and tokens for free. Only for you to do some exercises. In fact, this was one of the ways that my younger brother started by participating in airdrops. And the task they give you is nothing more than like Facebook page, tweets on Twitter, join Telegram group, something very simple. And if you keep to this, if you keep to the instructions they give you, you are rewarded with part of the token. And when the token start trading on the market, you can sell it up and get money. Now you didn't contribute any money at all, but you're getting money in return. All you did was do one or two tasks, which are very simple. To provide technical service and products to the market, like crypto hedge funds and investment companies. Now there are this is another way that's not very well explored way of making money. All you have to do is provide support to a particular crypto or product. Provide some sort of technical service. Maybe you help them to hold the token, or maybe you do community management for them. But some service that will help them push them forward into the market, and they reward you for it. Now, there are different kinds of crypto hedge funds. Those unpopular cryptos that you don't really expect, they are what we call, sleeping giants. That when they want to give you profit, they will give you like in thousands of percentages. All you have to do is invest in them. Invest and you just go. They are long-term investments, 10 months, 24 months kind of investment. For people that will stay to the end of this class, I will give you an offer. I'll give you an offer that cryptos that can, I'll give you an offer, and if you participate in that offer, you will get cryptos that will do well in the next 10 months, 24 months. I'm talking about more than 1,000%. All you have to do is buy those cryptos and keep and hold. They are always giving profit. Next one is education and mentorship. Just like I'm educating you and mentoring you now, people pay me to train them on this thing. So they pay me, it can cover Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain technology. You mentor them and they pay you to educate them. In fact, can I tell you something? As of this January, LinkedIn mentioned blockchain as the #1 hard skill that will pay you, because do you know how much blockchain developers charge you for creating something small? For them, be something like an exchange. To get an exchange for you where you can be marketing your this thing, it's in millions of naira. Just imagine if you can build an exchange. People will pay you billions of naira for that. Imagine if you can create an app for crypto. Nobody will pay you anything less than 500,000 naira. So for the app developers and software developers, something to look into, because blockchain have come to stay, and it's so people into it are very few. There are other forms of web developers, but blockchain developers, they are very few. So you can charge as high as 500,000 naira and above just to develop blockchain apps and the rest for people. So now these are examples of exchanges you can trade on. There's TEX. TEX is for pump and dump coins, where you just if coin you pump now, you pay, you fund your account. When it pumps, you take your profits. Binance is for day trading, long-term trading, any form of trading. Any form of trading. Now we have BitTrex. BitTrex is what we call this is BitTrex can give you money. BitTrex can take away your money from you if you don't apply the principles. I wrote a book on BitTrex. This is #3 here. I wrote a book on BitTrex, and it's for people that want to trade. If you want to make, if you see there is someone tells you that trading gives money sharp. What we call margin trading, leveraging on the platform to make plenty of money. But you have to know how to do it well. If you don't have to do it well, you will lose your money faster than you can ever imagine. BitTrex pays, but you have to learn to do. So if you want to enter BitTrex, you can request my book and I'll tell it to you. It's very affordable. It's just $10. So next one is KUCOIN. These are like examples. There are other exchanges, more than 100 of them, exchanges. But personally, these are the ones I've used. I've used this one. And Binance like constant K for me. even BITTREX. So each of them have just some slight difference. Slight difference. The only one I met that tell us completely about how to use them, how to use it in BITTREX. The rest have something similar about them on how to use them. So if you get to the end of this video, you see my offer about the next steps on this. So moving on, there is an industry that blockchain will impact so positively. Banking and payment. To make banking and payment easier. See, you don't have to move plenty money and the bank will now come and start asking plenty questions where you get the money from. You can move plenty money from wallet to wallet and the bank will not even spend it. Cyber security. Data will be more secured on the internet. Hack will be reduced. Supply chain management, I explained that before, from the point of production to the point of sales, the consumer, being able to manage it well, to trace any error or any mistake. Networking and Internet of Things. Online data storage, of course. Cloud storage has been is improving daily, but blockchain will make it better. Charity and aid organizations. You know, one of the problems we have is ability for the money. You want to help the country. Imagine Nigeria now, maybe a country wants to help Nigeria or help another, maybe a charity organization wants to help a set of people. How do they ensure that the money gets to the people that they want to help? This blockchain will help too, because they can easily give charity goods and services to people they want to give to directly without any middleman. And eventually, the blockchain will make sure it gets to them, because you cannot alter the information with a blockchain in a blockchain network. Legal industry. This is that smart contract. You don't even need a middle person, a third party, to regularize a contract with a person. Smart contract serves so if lawyers want to take advantage of this thing, how blockchain disrupts legal industry and know how smart contracts work and how they can use it and monetize. Because one important thing about trends and ages is that if you are not careful, the time and season will pass you by, and by the time you realize it, you wouldn't know how to catch up. So it's very important that you notice all these things, how times are changing and how to take advantage of them. There are lots of gold on the internet. Blockchain have low-hanging fruits for you. I know it sounds all big and big and big. I know when I started out my own journey, it was like, what is all these things? Can I understand it? What is this thing is going to be very stressful and all that. But if you take it one step at a time, you ask questions. Like me, I'm always available for you for your questions. But mostly, of course, I'm much more available for people that will pay for the main coaching. When you pay for coaching, you will have me at your beck and call to answer your questions. So now, blockchain will disrupt education. In the sense that, take for example, your certifications, for example, transcripts. Schools don't like giving transcripts to students because of alterations. But with blockchain, in fact, you don't even need to go to your school site for transcript. Your transcript will be on the network. The school you are going to will see it and say, oh, this is what you have, this is what you scored, without even bothering you. Everything will be there. No matter the school you go to, it will be like one store for everything. Anybody can see. You don't need to travel for, like I remember when I was going for a transcript for my master's degree program. I had to travel to school, spend money on transport, spend money on because I spent overnight on lodging, spend money on getting the transcript. I don't know, spend plenty money. But if your transcript is available on the blockchain network, you don't even need to do all this work about. All you have to provide information and it to be verified on the blockchain network, and that's it. No stress on any part. So, same thing with crowdfunding. Crowdfunding, that's another major, this is another way to make money from real estate. Crowdfunding, whereby you don't need plenty money to start up anything. but pool of funds can be created where everybody contributes a bit of this, a bit of that. You know, some people do. I don't know if you know, it's whereby if you are like 5 in a group, every month everybody contributes a certain amount of money, and each month there's somebody that will collect the pool of funds. Blockchain will help make sure this works and there is no error. Security, that single feature of immutability tells a lot for the different industries blockchain will impact. Voting system too, like Nigeria, for example, or any other country that wants to vote, is to make everything transparent. What you put in is what you get. Same with government. They might not even need to have any active government per se, because everything is like solo monitoring. The blockchain monitors everything and makes sure there's no error, there's no falsifying, there's no alteration. So imagine a government being run with blockchain. Econ is building Econ City, where that will be run digitally. And you want to have a coin too, that will serve as currency. So in health, so I'll talk about health, whereby information, data of patients will be easily available on network. So you don't have to transfer patients from one facility to the other, or try looking for patients' file up and down, or patients' information. Everything here on the blockchain network. So why should you get involved in blockchain? It's disruptive potential. It has the ability to change everything as you know of. So it's very important for you to know details of how this is. How can you take advantage of this thing? How can you take advantage of blockchain? Career opportunities. You can start up career opportunities. You can teach people about this. You can be a web provider, a web designer for blockchain. You can be a content writer for blockchain. Just know that everything that concerns blockchain is possible. Worth and value. It has lots of worth and value. There's nothing in blockchain that is cheap. So if you are trading or doing anything, you're learning anything on blockchain, it will give you value, plenty money. It's not an extra stream of income. Like for me, an extra stream of income for me. It is smart and automated processes. There are a lot of smart and automated processes it does for you. These are done sharper, smarter. Like you don't need to. You don't need to bother about some bank processes like bank stressful procedures just to access your money. Immutability. You cannot change anything on the blockchain network. Transparency, everything is transparent. There's no magu, there's no anything. Everything is there for anybody to see. If it is not complete, the transaction cannot be authorized. Decentralization, there is no central authority controlling it. Everybody has equal, there's equity, there's equality. So you cannot say that OKK is in charge of power of blockchain technology. No. Everything is evenly and equally distributed. Just like what I said, distributed ledgers. Whatever I do on point A, everybody on other points will see it. It's like you're having a copy of it's like I'm doing a transaction here. Everybody have a copy, a photocopy of what I just did. So I cannot say I am doing magu because so another one is consensus. Consensus is how the actions happen. Take for example now, to generate new currencies. You generate new currencies through what we call mining. You generate Bitcoin through mining. That's what we call proof of work. So per mine, you get a result. And that result you get is the proof of work. That's the consensus. It's the action that surrounds the result that you get when you're doing something like, when you're producing something like Bitcoin. I'm explaining about smart contracts. whereby codes, instead of having paperwork, having tons and tons and tons of paperwork. Imagine if you're into real estate, there are lots of paperwork involved. Smart contracts will help you. You just have a contract on the internet. You cannot reverse it, you cannot change it. To be there, everybody is in codes. Instead of in paper that can be destroyed, or maybe some information that something can happen to. But smart contract is there and there forever. Every party in the institution can see. So we've covered a lot, covered the whole lot. Talked about what's blockchain, how it works, why it's called a blockchain, the evolution of money, Luno, how you need Luno. It's the easiest way to start. Now, nobody will be with your money. Just create a Luno wallet. It's on the app from Play Store. After it's on the app, you can easily buy your Bitcoin there and keep it there. Just make sure you protect your Luno wallet with 2FA authentication. Then you can get involved with other types of money making strategies. Then other more money options. Actually, you can trade on industries that blockchain will impact. Why you should get involved in blockchain. It's the real thing. It's the main thing. And as time goes on, the price that you have to pay to learn this thing and get involved in these things will become more expensive because more people will be in the space who want to know more, and the price will go up. So this is a better time to get it at a very affordable price. So on this, there is more to learn. A lot of you are looking for ways you can monetize. I can show you how to start a career in blockchain technology. I can show you how to execute a trade on at least one platform like Binance. I can show you how to execute a trade, enter a trade, and take your profit and set your stop loss. I can show you how to store value in Bitcoin. I cannot show you list of crypto investments that can give you millions of gains by the end of this year. When we're in 2020, you can gain here. I can show you the profitable money making strategies of crypto. They are profitable ones. Now, to teach you this thing, my dear, even some of my friends are in this space. Their payment is like for $200 and above. That's about 70,000 naira. So formally, this would have cost you $150 to learn. What I listed above would have cost you $150 to learn, which is 54,000 naira. But because I understand that most of you want to start off making money, I'm going to give you at the giveaway price of 7,250 naira within the next 2 weeks. That's just $20. You cannot get this offer this cheap anyway. So this is a limited opportunity, my dear, because after that 2 weeks, I'm going back to how much the main amount I charge for this. Nobody will give you all this offer. In fact, they only teach you how to execute a trade on one platform for just $100, which is 30,000 naira. The person to make it maybe 2 platforms or so, and they'll charge you $200, which is 72,000 naira. So why don't you take this offer now within the next 2 weeks for just 7,250 naira or $20, and grab this opportunity now. Now, for those of you that want one-on-one coaching, like I told you, nobody, even to this 25,000 naira that I'm offering for one-on-one coaching, you get a trade on 3 platforms like that's BITTREX, Binance, and BTTREX. I'll continue investments to make for profit this year. How to read, understand, when you look at that chart, or how to make sense of it, you will get signals for trading every day. Signals that will give you profit every week, at most, every month. Then you will now get every other thing listed up here. How much? 55,000 naira. This is what you get for $500 actually. And I'm giving it to you at the giveaway price of 25,000 naira. this long-term crypto investment alone to get the information costs $2,500 to get the information from Wall Street. You know Wall Street, financial Wall Street in US. So what you are getting at 25,000 naira. For those who get one-on-one coaching, you get much more value. For those who want to start their own, you can pay 7,250 naira within now and 2 weeks before we go back to our normal price, and you get much more deeper value. So I believe that you will have questions. If you have questions, you drop it after you've done watching this video. Drop the questions in the group. I will attend to them, but make sure the question is not within this order. There is more. I mean questions in what I have said so far. I will explain to you. Take advantage of this. Today is still early. By May, people will be in much more profit in Bitcoin. By the end of this year, people that will engage in long-term crypto investments for millions will be in much more profit. If you know what I'm talking about, you would have heard people that are already working in profit. See, blockchain changed my life. Blockchain and writing. Blockchain and writing changed my life. So I am your value delivery expert. I'm giving you value in exchange for. So watch this video if you missed the class and ask your question, and make sure you take advantage of the next 2 weeks before the price goes back to normal. All right? I will drop my number at the end, my WhatsApp number, so that you can contact me for further inquiries. So for further inquiry, WhatsApp